EU5, the video game adaptation of my favorite manga, History. Granted, it has some bullshit moments, like that one time someone just forgot to close the door to Constantinople, so the Ottomans can happen. But hey, I enjoy the drama. That's why today we're playing as Bulgaria. But the real question is, can we unite our country and defend ourselves from the literal hordes of Muslim invaders who are here to steal our lands, enslave our people, destroy our culture, and supplant our religion?
We will not go quietly into the night!
Or will the nobles continue to insist that I, the king, am full of shit? Let's find out. And we're starting with King Ivan Alexander. Definitely the man for the job. Now the budget doesn't look all that amazing. However, we can easily print more money. Don't worry about it, guys. We're far below our targeted 2% inflation. We shall start by developing the land and increase our control. Now you're all probably aware that the Balkans is an open PvP area, which means our foreign policy has to reflect that. Remember, guys, if they didn't want to be ransacked by an army of stinking peasants, they should have chosen to live somewhere else. We also need a spy network in Serbia. I might not have much evidence to prove this, but they're definitely preparing to attack us. We also have to assign a socio-economic law. Obviously we have to ban exports, because printing money is good, with no downsides. I'm sure of it. Now of course we have to take care of the estates. Remember guys, this is a game which accurately depicts the ever-present class struggle, and I am determined to destroy all other estates and claim my birthright to exploit the peasants for my benefit without sharing. So I'm going to give myself an autocracy, and of course I shall grant the commoners the privilege to fight and die for my glory. No need to thank me, peasants. I'll take your communal land privilege and replace it with free mobility for the common people. This will definitely help us shuffle our workforce more efficiently, and of course I have to give the nobility controlled serfdom, which will lower the amount of food the peasants are eating. We're actually buying quite a lot of food. Realistically, I can build more farms or something, but I feel like a better decision would be to get some more gold and order the peasants to eat less. And here come the rise of the Ottomans. Now I'm not gonna spoil anything in case you guys haven't read the history, but there'll definitely be a problem. Now these are our starting values, which will definitely change, but the more pressing thing is I'm spending 4 gold to feed the stinking peasants. That's gross, which means I have to enact agrarian cultivation, which will increase our food production and help us subjugate the peasants. And just like that, the budget is fixed. What can I say, guys? Subjugating the peasantry is the most sound economic decision. And it's time for our first parliament. Oh boy, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do, but I guess we can develop the interior. And in order for us to get some more support, we're gonna subjugate the peasants even harder. And we get some more random support, which means we can change a law. These usually cost like 100 stability, but now we can get one for free. And we're going to enact a central council, so we can increase our centralization. Even more random support. Nice. This will allow me to ask for more levies. Now of course, the parliament failed and destabilized the country. Classic Bulgarian parliament. But on the bright side, my son is an idiot. Wait a minute, Central Macedonia? When did that happen? Hang on a minute, they're improving relations with Serbia. Not even my son would improve relations with a Balkan neighbor, and he's an idiot. Speaking of Serbia, my spies have started to look for evidence that niche belongs to me. Just give them a minute. And the Byzantines are getting destroyed by negative energy Japan. That's one of my favorite Japans. The Renaissance, since I'm clearly preparing to invade Serbia, we definitely need a diplomatic focus. Someone has to justify all the war crimes to the international community. Can you imagine having to confront the Polish foreign minister?
Your 3-day special military operation can't even conquer Donbass for 10 years now.
That would be terrifying. Well, there you go, guys. I found the justification. It was underneath my couch. It's always the last place you look. Now, looking at the culture map mode, you might think to yourself, niche is probably not the province I'm looking for. To be honest, it was the easiest one to spell. Alright, it's time for us to engage in high velocity peasant combat. Jesus Christ, we have so much more than them. God bless the parliament. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Can they actually come back after such a devastating loss? No. But don't worry guys, my peace terms will be graceful. For you see, I demand they dismantle all of their forts, give me a bunch of money, and perhaps a small piece of land. I feel like that's a fair exchange. Now looking at the peace deal, it seems that I'm going to get a lot of antagonism. But here's the thing, I have no idea what that means. So I'll take it. Ho boy, we're so big now, it says Kingdom of Bulgaria on the map. Also, it seems that we're close to be a target of an international organization.
The savage land of the Balkans.
Oh, coitus. We forgot the Balkans. Well, look, here we are. 1, 2, 3 there. Look, Bosnia, Herzegovina, Kosovo, Greater Serbia. Everyone satisfied?
Well,
What else? I think, gentlemen, we have guaranteed the peace and freedom of Europe for forever.
Well, what did I say, guys? Aggressive military expansionism in the Balkans doesn't mean anything. Hey, wait a minute, Hungary is attacking Serbia, you stinking bastards! How dare you profit off of my labor? Speaking of bastards who profit off of my labor, it's time for another parliament. We should definitely host an army exercise. Definitely what I needed. And we already have more than 50% of the vote, which means the parliament will finally get to do something. What a great opportunity to change the distribution of power law. Instead of having traditional distribution, we can have favor the ruler, which gives more power to me. Now this does mean that we won't get our military exercise unless I give a privilege to the nobility. But you know what? There's always next time. Hey, wait a minute. Central Macedonia has blue hearts as their flag. Not even my son would choose a flag like that, and he's an idiot. Another failure. Honestly, this country is going to shit. We have like 11 stability. That's not good. The Black Death, this is gonna be devastating. We should definitely allow trade center sponsorship to the burglars. Hopefully we can profit from all the death and devastation. Plague unrest. Wait a minute, I can blame someone else for all of our problems. That's right, guys. God sent the Black Death so he can eliminate all the Bayan people who suck. Your family and friends are merely collateral damage. I'm sure of it. Although this is truly devastating. Not even my aggressive military expansionism could offset the losses from this disease sent by the heavens. Do you guys think this is some form of a sign? Like a subtle comment from God on my previous actions? After some reflection, I believe I know the answer. I should embrace expansionist zealotry. I mean, how else am I supposed to increase our population in this political climate? There's clearly no other way. The parliament, oh my god, we're saved. Hopefully everyone gets to vote before they die. I'm gonna be honest, it happens surprisingly often nowadays. We should promote castle works and use this opportunity to ask for larger levies. Are we expansionist zealots or what? Hang on a minute, the Byzantines just annexed Central Macedonia. Not even my son would do that, and he's an idiot. Alright, that's it. I'm gonna have my spies look for any reason which will allow us to engage in high velocity peasant combat against the Byzantines. There's 2 of them now. God damn it. Not even my son. Ah man, I'm starting to feel like I've misjudged my son. Perhaps I shouldn't believe what others talk about him, but instead spend some time together, get to know each other, teach him what it means to be a king. It might take some time and effort, but what's more important than famine? We can attack the Byzantines? Squire, fetch my horse! Remember guys, in the Balkans, nothing is more important than high velocity peasant warfare. Now I know what you guys are thinking. What makes the Bulgarian peasants superior soldiers? I'm gonna be honest, I'm paying them nearly a nickel. God, they live good. No wonder they're so eager to fight. Hey, what just happened? I think we bumped into the Byzantine army, and there go their allies. Well, that was easy. Now I'm going to force them to release 2 of their vassals and liberate Central Macedonia. Additionally, I'll take a province and some war reparations. That sounds fair. Do you guys have any idea how much money I've spent pursuing this campaign? I mean, I don't. I'm barely literate. But the peasants will eat tonight, that's for sure. You know, I should give the commoners a privilege. Something like access to royal and ecclesiarchic courts, because it will create hordes of stinking peasants pestering the clergy. That would be hilarious. And we have a brand new king, Mikhail Asen, who is not an idiot, which means I either grossly misjudged my son or never met him in my life. But that doesn't matter. New king, new chapter. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I haven't built anything in a decade, and I believe it's time.
Spread the wealth out, diversify the economy, improve living standards for the working classes.
Hang on there, Jimmy. First we have to stabilize the country, and that will take a lot of money. Well, you guys know what they say. You have to print money to have money, burn the heretics. I'm pretty sure that's how the saying goes. But before all of this, political reform. Wait, you burned the heretics already? Anyway, it's no secret that the parliament simply doesn't work. That's because we have an estate parliament. If we really want something done, we need an assembly, which will reduce the agenda impact of the nobility and commoners by 33%. Also, the clergy and the burgos are not invited, which leaves all the power to me. Now let's make the parliament support the state. Ah, hello? Why are only the commoners here? I think we have to wait for the reforms to take effect. Whoops. And just look at that, the crown estate is the most powerful in all the land. Exactly as planned. Now, looking at the Constantinople market, you might notice the puke green color. Personally, it disturbs me on a deep spiritual level. War it is then, my spirits demand it. Now obviously we're far more powerful than them. Jesus, blink and you miss it. Unfortunately, we can't take Constantinople unless we siege it. To be honest, I would kill for someone to simply forget the door open, like in the intro. Our siege progress only goes up to 21%. We're gonna have to sit here a while. But it's parliament time, and we can change our conscription law. Instead of having noble levies, we shall have peasant levies instead. Remember guys, the main quality of the peasants is their quantity. And of course, after 843 days, someone actually forgot to close the door. I'll take everything. Wait a minute, the game is asking me to change the name of Tsarigrad to Tsarigrad. I assume the game changes the name automatically, but there's also an event for it? Amazing. Also, I'm dissolving their patriarchy, you know, because they don't exist anymore. What's the point? Alright, now looking at the control map mode, you might notice we have a lot of zeros, and soon Constantinople will join them. Currently, my cabinet is busy incorporating all the Serbian lands, which means for now I'm gonna have to organize a special administration zone, which will govern over the Greeks. And of course, not only that we make a lot of money from trade, and Constantinople is directly giving us money, but I've also achieved my life's goal by not living in a puke green market. Instead, we're gonna live in a puke white market. Oh god, I've killed people for this. It's horrible. To be fair, I've killed for less. A rebellion? Ah, crap. Alright guys, you probably noticed that I've been ignoring the rebellion tab. In my defense, my father kept calling me an idiot. Although to be honest, I believe he mistook me for my brother. But my father's mistreatment towards his children is no excuse to shit talk your king in front of the brand new Serbian subjects. God, I feel so bad for what I am forced to do to these disgusting peasants, slaughtering them one after another, so I can keep my high status in society given to me by nepotism. Trust me guys, it's really hard to be king. I just make it look easy. Promise. And it's time for another parliament. We desperately need to support the state. I'm willing to give anything to anyone who would vote in the parliament so long as this can pass. Hey, wait a minute. I physically don't have enough support. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I don't think switching to assembly was a good idea. And now I shall grant a privilege to every estate, except for the nobles. Stinking bastards tried to kill me. Also, I just watched the intro. That was simply unacceptable. The commoners get communal lands, the burglars get building rights, and the clergy will get embellished great works of faith. And I also managed to build our very first professional army, so I can put the king in charge, which will give us some extra crown power. That's pretty cool. The burglars are demanding a privilege. How dare you demand things from your sovereign? You should learn some etiquette, just like the nobles. They're pretty cool. That's why I'm going to revoke their royal marriage privilege. I might be desperate and all, but I draw the line at attempted murder in this video. Oh crap, the country's going to shit. Well, that was unexpected, but that's alright. I'm going to build a ballroom for the nobles. That'll shut them up. A parliament. We shall sponsor noble arts and avoid another civil war. By getting the nobles on my side, we have 49% of the vote. Who owns the rest of the parliament? I'm so confused. And now we're going to form a defense league with Naples. Listen guys, I really wish to avoid murdering my own citizens again, but I'm prepared to do what it takes. Also, I'm gonna spend a ridiculous amount of money to maintain my legitimacy, because the higher my legitimacy is, the more crown power I get, and my pops are less likely to revolt. This is one of the top 10 things I really wish I knew before I started playing the game.
Click on the construction button. Okay. I can't do anything without the fucking tutorials! Oh my god!
Yet another young life destroyed by a paradox tutorial. Not even once, kids. Wait a minute, I just noticed how much money I'm getting from Constantinople. It's my largest source of revenue. I'm taxing my people just to fuck with them at this point. And you know what? In about a decade, I'll be able to build another building. God, I'm good at this. How do I do it? Alright guys, watch this. I managed to build a yacht. It was pretty expensive, but my god's a witness. I deserve it. Alright, now I know what you guys are thinking. If the parliament can support the state, this will give us the ability to parkour all the way towards absolutism. And even though we don't control the parliament for some reason, our king, Mikhail Asen, is strict and a sinner, just like me, which means he's determined to strip the nobles into submission by taking away all of their privileges. It might cost us 50 stability, but we've been through worse. We're just gonna print a bunch of money, give them to the nobles so they don't rebel. Wait a minute, the king is a bumbling buffoon. That's it, I'm revoking your land privilege. What's minus 60 stability? Am I right, guys? The king is dead. Crap! His sinful life brought nothing but shame to our country. But that's alright, guys. Our brand new king, Ivan Alexander, will fix everything. New king, new beginnings and all that. Wait a minute, Naples needs help against their evil, rebellious nobles. What a way to start your rule, am I right, guys? Slaughtering these evil, rebellious nobles shall show our strength and determination. Wait a minute, I don't have any boats, so I just have to sit here and watch like a cuck. Damn it, I'm becoming a sinner like my father, who kept watching so many questionable things. Only God knows what was wrong with him. Hey, wait a minute, I have a claim the throne casus belli on Wallachia. I'm pretty sure I had a royal marriage with them. Does that mean this guy's my brother-in-law? You know, because he banged my sister? How dare you! My father might have had weird tastes, but my honor shall not be besmirched that easily. A two-front war might seem complicated if the two countries actually had a way to stop me. But with Byzantium out of the way, we can fully focus on the north. Alright guys, I'm gonna be honest, the Wallachian allies, Halich, can't possibly stop us. However, every time I destroy their armies, they raise more peasants, sneak in from behind, and reoccupy half the country before our siege of the Wallachian capital can be complete. So I'm just gonna give them $100 so they can fuck off. It's time for me to claim the throne of Wallachia. It belongs to me permanently. Alright, so there's no claim the throne button. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, the casus bellis, or reasons to go to war, don't actually do anything in this game. They're completely made up. How realistic. I love it. So I guess I'll take as much as I can get. That seems fair. Alright Parliament, it's time for us to fix the budget. We're a little bit above our targeted 2% inflation. Random support. Oh my god guys, we can actually pass something in the Parliament. I never thought I'd see the day. Well, there you go guys. Inflation is back at an acceptable level for an African country run by a tyrannical regime who have no idea how the economy works. Damn, I'm good at this. How do I do it? Anyway, I'm gonna form a bunch of fiefdoms so they can take care of the Wallachians for me, and we can finally embrace the banking institution, giving us access to cheap credit. That's exactly what my crippled economy needed. Probably. I'm not actually an economist or anything. I got this job thanks to nepotism. That's alright guys, I know exactly what I'm doing. We're gonna have the Parliament support the state, which will buff our crown power, allowing me to take the noble levy privilege. 51%. Oh boy, I am the state. Ah, it went away with the Parliament. But that's alright, 44% is pretty respectable. Alright, I just noticed something. The diplomatic spending slider also increases the amount of money I'm taking from my vassals. The things you discover when you skip the tutorial. Am I right guys? The third noble civil war. Well, there you go guys. This is exactly why Naples is my spirit animal. Please excuse me as I sit here and watch. Oh yeah. Because we don't have any boats and they're like an important ally, so I need to know what happens. Yeah. And now we can embrace professional armies. Listen guys, you know me. I fully respect high velocity peasant warfare. However, if we can make this warfare thing into a professional business, our economy can finally grow. No, this isn't African warlord logic. Promise. Alright, it's time for us to start annexing Constantinople. They had it too good for too long. Speaking of too good for too long, I'm going to abolish the Parliament. Let's face it, this is an unnecessary institution. Hang on a minute, Byzantium is annexing one of their vassals. How dare you! Obviously I'm gonna call in my ally, Naples. God's a witness, they're dying to kill someone. And here comes the vassal swarm. They're clearly no match for us, although it seems that we have to destroy the entirety of Greece and Sicily. When did they join? Comet sighted, it is an omen, and we're losing stability. Wait a minute, why is there only one option? Well, this sucks. I always thought that the multitude of options who had the exact same effect was a clever and funny comment on how your opinion is completely irrelevant. And we can call another Parliament, even though I abolished it 2 minutes ago. Now I know some of you might be of the opinion that this is just a bug, or perhaps that's how no Parliament is supposed to work. Here's the thing guys, this is a clever and funny comment on how your opinion doesn't actually matter. Hilarious. But either way, I'm not going to grant a privilege to the nobles under any circumstance, so it might as well not even be there. -7 stability and all that. Alright Sicily, it's time for you to get out of this war. Wait a minute, they own half of Greece. That was certainly unexpected. Anyway, pay me and get get out of here. As for the Byzantines, I'm gonna fix the border. Remember guys, if you love map painter games and you also love Picasso, this is the game for you. However, if you have a fascistic attraction towards aesthetically pleasing borders, you're gonna have a stroke. The Ottomans have formed a coalition against us. What? Am I supposed to be intimidated? Remember guys, even if the Muslims can somehow take over the Balkans, they'll regret it so much they'll pick up drinking. I'm sure of it. Oh no! The Duke of Wallachia saw the border between Bulgaria and Wallachia and said relatable. Oh no! The King of Naples saw the border between Bulgaria and Wallachia and said relatable. This unfortunately prevented them from honoring their alliance. This looks like a pretty big coalition. Even the Ottomans are in on it. Crap! Alright guys, we can sign a peace deal here and now before anyone can get hurt. We just have to give 245 buccarinos, humiliation and war reparations. Overall, that's not that bad. Remember guys, the important takeaway is that peace is always an option. Squire, fetch my horse! I am willing to murder millions in order to defend my map painting skills. And it seems that the Ottomans can't go through Constantinople. I did the thing which absolved them from joining my wars, but in return they give me more money. I did it because I'm greedy, but it was clearly a wise choice. And once we pillage the Wallachian village, we're gonna go and conquer the Ottomans. They have a pretty massive fort. This will definitely take a while. Also, I just noticed we can't get more centralized than this, which means my tyranny is hard capped by all the laws and privileges. I'm going to revoke the nobility's fortification license and the peasants' communal lands. Now we do have quite the angry peasants and nobles, but that's alright guys, I'm gonna print a bunch of money and bribe the right people. Are we in the Balkans or what? Okay, but I'm starting to think that all the horrifying war crimes the peasants committed in Wallachia under my command might bite me eventually. So the peasants shall receive no labor on Sunday as a sign of piety. God, I honestly hope the peasants don't use the free time daydreaming about committing war crimes on me. That would suck. Now I know what you guys are thinking. Where's the Ottoman army? Apparently they're fighting someone else. That's very inconvenient for the Ottoman peasants. Now I would just sit here and pillage the Ottoman village. Unfortunately, I can't take anything from them. The only thing I can really request is for them to dismantle their forts, which are pretty big. So I guess it's a something, but I'll definitely be back for more. But in the meantime, we're gonna revive the parliament. Please, pretend like it was missing. A civil war? Oh my god, the nobles! Wait a minute, that's not the full nobility? Come on peasants, happy fun times await. It's alright guys, they're just following orders. Oh my god guys, it's time for another parliament. Now unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give a privilege to the nobles, so I can change a law. Instead of banning precious metal exports, we're gonna have unlimited exports, because profits from trade scale based on your crown power. And since we're the most powerful state, the trade capacity will be more valuable to us than printing money. Also, I'm revoking the privilege I just gave to the nobles, because fuck them. And there you go guys, we annexed Constantinople and achieved sustainable economic growth. Now of course we're gonna lose some of the control, however we've received all of the Constantinople gold. I never thought I'd see the day where I have more than 2000 buccarinos. Is this how running a real country feels like? Oh, I'm sorry guys, I have to spend every penny building roads in a desperate attempt to keep as much control over Constantinople as possible. And with this next parliament, we're gonna support the state, buff my crown power, and take the last privilege from the nobles, and raise their taxes. What are they gonna do about it? The king is dead, a coincidence, I'm sure. Of course, we have a brand new king, Mikhail II, who will continue with the repress the noble policies. A rebellion, a coincidence, I'm sure. Anyway, it's time for me to raise thousands of bloodthirsty peasants who have been fed a steady stream of anti-noble propaganda for decades now. A coincidence, I'm sure. Oh, they just gave up. I didn't actually have to take everything. Well, there you go guys, the nobles own nothing and they're happy. I'm sure of it. Alright guys, something weird happened to me yesterday. I bumped into a strangely dressed peasant who kept insisting he comes from the future. Hilarious. However, I took him up on his offer to build a powerful weapon from the future, allowing me to create an army capable of taking over the world. Currently, he's speaking to my smiths, but I'm not sure about this. What do you guys think? And without the nobility, the parliament can actually do its job. Wait a minute. Our king is secretive, which will help us centralize even more. Also, I have 100 spy network in the Ottomans. What can that buy me? Wait a minute, I can just assassinate the Sultan. Hilarious. hilarious. Wait, nothing happened. I mean, the Ottomans are ruled by a different guy, but we're about to start producing firearms. Unfortunately, I caught the strange peasant in the bed of my daughter, so it's not gonna be as powerful as promised, but I'm sure my smiths will think of something. And the parliament has agreed to support the state. Look at that big, massive crown power. Now that's what I'm talking about. Speaking of big and powerful, our genius smiths are about to start producing big guns. We just need some more manpower. Give me a minute as I build the most powerful army on the planet. Also, I'm gonna replace our agricultural reform with royal decree, which will give us even more crown power. Age of discovery, ho boy, I'm ready to discover with my gun. Alright, it's time for the parliament to forge a claim so we can legally kick out the Ottomans from Europe. And just to make sure that everything is legal, I'm gonna have my assassins murder the Ottoman Bey again. Now some of you legal experts out there might disagree with my approach, however, I'm going to send an insult to the Ottomans. Can your soldiers hit a barn yet? Or do they still think that muskets are clubs? With the legal challenges out of the way, let me show you my banging army, ready to bang with big guns. With the king at the helm, what are we waiting for? Remember guys, we have the most advanced army on the planet. No one can possibly challenge us. Oh, they cut a bunch of my peasants, bastards. Remember guys, we might be severely outnumbered, but we have the expert tactics, the superior equipment, the professional soldiers, the biggest of guns. Crap! There's just 3 dudes left. Well, there goes my country's entire income for a decade. No random peasant army, run! Holy shit. Well, what did I say guys? High velocity peasant warfare is the shit. This whole professional army thing will never catch on. And here comes another battle, completely destroyed. We beat them so hard, we even took the capital. Amazing. The king is dead. Oh no, we have a regency. That's not good. Well, fortunately for us, the Ottomans simply couldn't come back after that devastating loss. So now we're gonna kick the Ottomans out of Europe, get a bunch of money, and have aesthetically pleasing borders. That's pretty good. You know, I feel like we should end it here. We've achieved African levels of inflation, completely destroyed the nobility, and stopped the Ottomans. But remember guys, if you ever bump into funnily dressed peasants, execute them on the spot, for they shall inevitably attempt to deflower your beloved daughter. Until next time.